But what if I told you that one tiny coin, the size of a penny, could change your life forever? Imagine holding something worth over $1 million, just tucked away in your drawer. Sounds impossible, but it's real, and it's hiding in plain sight. The story of the 1982 Lincoln penny is one of mystery, mistake, and fortune. In 1982, the U.S. Mint made a change, one that almost nobody noticed. Pennies began to be made with a new material, zinc coated with copper, instead of the traditional copper alloy. But a few coins slipped through the cracks. Some were struck in copper instead of zinc. And these rare mistakes, especially those from the Denver Mint, are now worth up to $1.70 million. Think about it. Millions of pennies circulated that year. Thousands of people paid for coffee, groceries, even bus rides, without knowing they might be holding a fortune. That's the drama of this coin. It's ordinary in appearance, yet extraordinary in value. First, check the date. It must be 1982. Then look for the mint mark, a tiny D under the date, signaling it came from Denver. Next, the metal. Most 1982 pennies are zinc. Hold it on a scale. Copper is heavier, denser. There's a subtle weight difference you can feel in your hand. And if you want absolute certainty, a professional coin grading service can confirm whether it's the rare copper 1982 D. But here's the thing. Even seasoned collectors have missed these pennies. The coin looks like every other Lincoln penny in your change. No one expects a fortune hiding among the everyday. That's why every second you spend checking your pennies could uncover a life-changing discovery. Now, imagine the people who accidentally spent these million-dollar coins. One coffee, one vending machine snack, and suddenly, millions vanish into the cash register. Heartbreaking, yet it adds to the legend. And for collectors who know the secret, it's the thrill of the hunt, a chance to turn pocket change into a life-altering treasure. The 1982 D penny is slightly darker than zinc pennies because of the copper content. Under bright light, it has a richer, almost deeper color. And the sound is different too. Drop it on a hard surface and listen. Copper pennies have a higher, sharper ring. It's subtle, but collectors swear by it. Every sensory clue could be the difference between ordinary change and a million-dollar coin. Think about the journey of this penny. Struck at the Denver Mint, lost in a sea of ordinary coins, passed from hand to hand for decades, unnoticed. Now, decades later, the same coin could be sitting in a jar, a wallet, or a drawer, waiting for someone to realize what it really is. That's the emotional pull of this story. It's ordinary yet extraordinary, hidden yet within reach, and there's more. Even the tiniest scratch, the slightest wear, can affect value. Condition is everything. A pristine, uncirculated 1982 D copper penny could fetch the highest prices, but even circulated ones are worth a serious sum. Knowing how to identify it is key. Learn the weight, look for the mint mark, study the color, and listen for the sound. Practice spotting subtle differences. Every penny you examine could be the one that changes your life. Collectors often describe the thrill like finding a secret message in plain sight. You see the coin every day, but only those who know the secret will notice the fortune hiding in the details. This coin has turned ordinary people into millionaires, changed families' lives, and rewritten the stories of countless collectors who stumbled across it at the right time. And here's the mind-blowing part. There's no limit to how many people could still be holding one. Millions of 1982 pennies circulated. Only a few dozen are known to be the rare Denver copper version. That means the chance is incredibly small, and yet it exists. The excitement, the suspense, the hope, it's intoxicating. Start looking. Empty your pockets. Check old jars. Dig through drawers. Examine every 1982 penny with a D mint mark. Feel the weight. Inspect the color. Maybe even drop it lightly and listen. You're not just checking pennies. You're hunting for history, for mystery, for a life-changing discovery. Every coin could be a story. Every coin could be a fortune. Remember, it's not just about money. It's about possibility. It's about the idea that something ordinary, something overlooked, could suddenly become extraordinary. That's what makes the 1982 D penny so powerful. It's not just a coin. It's a symbol of hope, luck, and the incredible hidden opportunities that surround us every day. In 1991, the U.S. Mint produced billions of Lincoln pennies. They looked ordinary, shining copper, small, easily overlooked. But in that sea of coins, a rare variation emerged, a penny so uncommon that collectors who know about it are quietly paying sums that make most of us stop and stare. Millions are talking about it, but only a few will ever hold it in their hands. It's subtle, nearly invisible unless you know exactly what to look for. On the obverse, you see Lincoln's familiar profile, stoic, timeless. But the magic lies in the mint mark, the tiny D stamped near the date. In some of these pennies, the D was doubled during the minting process. Two mint marks, overlapping ever so slightly, almost like a shadow. This is what separates a normal penny from a piece of hidden treasure worth over $1 million. Imagine holding a coin like this. It's not just copper and ink. It's history, it's rarity, it's the thrill of discovery. Someone, somewhere, who looked in their change one day thought they had nothing but pocket lint. And then they realized they were holding a ticket to a life-changing fortune. Now, here's where it gets even more fascinating. The backstory of the 1991 D penny isn't fully known. The mint doesn't publish every mistake. These doubled mint mark pennies slipped through quality control, quietly making their way into circulation. One might be in your drawer, your purse, your car's cup holder, completely unrecognized. That's the thrill and the danger. Treasure this rare coin, and suddenly ordinary pennies become a thrilling hunt. Collectors who specialize in Lincoln pennies will tell you, spotting a double D isn't easy. You need a magnifying glass, steady hands, and patience. Look closely at the date. Look at the D. If you see a faint overlap, a whisper of another letter, you're on the edge of something extraordinary. Some of these coins, in pristine condition, have sold for as much as $1.8 million. Imagine trading pocket change for a fortune that could change generations. But here's the catch. The condition matters. Coins scratched, worn, or corroded may not fetch the same astronomical price. That's why collectors obsess over details. The shine of the copper, the crispness of Lincoln's face, the alignment of the letters. Every subtle mark, every microscopic detail matters. And when you finally see it, the faint doubling, it hits you. This is no ordinary penny. You might think, could it really be worth that much? And the answer is yes. There are documented sales, quiet, almost whispered transactions where lucky collectors walked away with millions for a coin that most people would call worthless. It's not just money. It's proof that ordinary objects can hold extraordinary secrets, that a mistake at the mint can turn into the discovery of a lifetime. No one else knows it's there. You lift it up, tilt it under the light, and something catches your eye. That tiny D looks unusual. There's a shadow, a whisper of a second mint mark. Your heart races because you understand. In that instant, you're staring at a potential million-dollar discovery. The excitement doesn't stop there. There's a story in every 1991 D penny. You can almost imagine the hands it has passed through, pocketed by kids, juggled by cashiers, lost and found countless times. Each coin has a history, but only the rare doubled mint mark variety has the potential to transform someone's life. That's why collectors search tirelessly, examining every penny, every batch, with a quiet obsession. Because they know one small detail can mean millions. Let's pause for a moment and consider what it feels like to be the person who finds this coin. It's not just joy, it's disbelief. They might double-check, maybe even triple-check. Could it really be true? Could this simple, ordinary penny, held in your hand, really be worth $1.8 million? The answer is yes, and the rush, the emotion, is unforgettable. Here's how to identify it clearly. Take your penny under a strong light. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Focus on the D mint mark right below the year. Look for doubling, an overlapping impression, faint but undeniable. Some collectors call it a shadow, some call it a ghost, but whatever you call it, it signals extraordinary value. Compare it to a normal 1991 D penny if you have one. The difference, subtle as it is, could be worth over $1 million. You don't need to hunt in some dusty attic. This coin could already be in circulation. Someone could be spending it at the store tomorrow, completely unaware that it's a fortune in disguise. That's the lure of coin collecting. The ordinary becomes extraordinary, and the mundane can turn into a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. Imagine, for a moment, holding a coin that has been overlooked for decades. Copper shining, Lincoln's face staring back at you, and a faint doubled mint mark whispering secrets. You hold history, rarity, and value all in the palm of your hand. And then, the thought hits. This could change everything. A life-altering discovery, hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone with sharp eyes and patience to see it. Every expert will tell you, the 1991 D doubled mint mark Lincoln penny is rare, but not impossible to find. It requires knowledge, patience, and an understanding of what makes it special. And once you recognize it, once you see that shadowed D, it's impossible to ignore the potential, impossible not to imagine what life would be like if this penny were yours. Now, take a moment to picture it again. That penny, unassuming, ordinary to everyone else, resting quietly in your hand. The possibility of millions, the thrill of discovery, the emotion of knowing that a single mistake at the mint has made you the keeper of a life-changing treasure. It's rare, it's precious, and it could be closer than you think. You won't believe what I'm about to show you. A coin so ordinary, so easily overlooked, yet hiding a secret that could make someone a millionaire overnight. Imagine a 2016 Lincoln penny, just sitting in your pocket change. But what if I told you it could be worth over $1 million? That's right, $1 million. And the craziest part? Most people have walked past this treasure hundreds of times without even noticing it. It all starts with a quiet year in U.S. coin history, 2016. The Lincoln penny had been circulating for decades, appearing in registers, vending machines, even couch cushions. Nobody suspected that this familiar coin was harboring a hidden secret. But one slight, nearly invisible detail, an error so small yet so powerful, changed everything. Collectors who knew how to spot it were quietly scooping them up for prices that seemed impossible. The story begins in a small minting facility, far from public view. The machines churned out coins, thousands per minute. And yet, one batch of pennies was struck slightly differently. A tiny variation in the die that created a subtle flaw. This flaw wasn't noticeable at first glance. You could hold the coin in your hand, and it would look like any other 2016 penny. But for those who knew what to look for, it was a once-in-a-lifetime find. A coin that could turn an ordinary day into a millionaire moment. Collectors first discovered this penny a few years after it was minted. Someone checking a handful of change noticed a peculiar ridge, a faint doubling on the lettering, almost imperceptible unless you knew where to look. Word spread quietly among coin enthusiasts. Prices started to soar, and by the time the news broke to the wider public, the lucky few who had found these coins were staring at over $1 million sitting in their hands. Now, let's reset for a moment and imagine this scenario personally. You're sitting at your kitchen table, sorting through last week's change. Nothing special. You pick up a shiny 2016 penny, roll it in your fingers, and pause. Something feels off. The lettering looks different, just slightly. Your heart races. You reach for a magnifying glass. That tiny ridge, that faint double detail, it's there. You realize you may have just found a coin worth over $1 million. First, look at the mint mark. The 2016 D mint mark is crucial. Not all pennies from 2016 carry this specific error. Next, examine the lettering. You're searching for what collectors call a doubled die. It's subtle. The words "In God We Trust" or "Liberty" may appear slightly thicker or as if shadowed. Look closely at the date. Sometimes the numbers show signs of doubling. The ridge is faint but unmistakable once your eye is trained. These details are what separate an ordinary penny from a life-changing treasure. Pause and think about the rarity. Millions of 2016 pennies were produced, but only a handful carry this error. That's why the value skyrockets. Ordinary coins might buy you a cup of coffee, but this coin, this small piece of copper, has the potential to buy a home, fund dreams, or change a life entirely. The emotional weight of holding something so small, yet so powerful, is overwhelming. You realize the value is not just in the metal, it's in the story, the history, the chance of fortune hiding in plain sight. Every 1 to 2 minutes, take a moment to imagine the excitement. Someone, somewhere, just casually checking change at a gas station, discovers the ridge, notices the doubled letters. They pull out their phone, start researching, and the reality hits. Over $1 million. Their life just changed forever, all because they recognized what most people would overlook. That's the magic of coin collecting. That's the magic of paying attention to the tiniest details. Now, the penny itself. Look at Lincoln's face. The contours of his profile may show slight anomalies due to the minting error. Examine the rim. Is it perfectly smooth? Are there subtle bumps or doubled edges? These imperfections are clues. They tell a story of the minting process, of the rare error, and of the fortune waiting for someone observant enough to spot it. Handling it, feeling the weight, seeing the error with your own eyes, it's electrifying. It's like holding history and $1 million secret all at once. Patience is key. You can't just glance at a pile of pennies and expect to see this. You must study, compare, train your eye. Magnifying glass, good lighting, steady hands. Every tool helps. And the reward is immense. People have spent years refining this skill, and those who find one of these 2016 D mint mark pennies with the error are living proof that meticulous observation pays off. Each penny has a journey. And now, one tiny copper coin could complete a journey that ends with a life-changing fortune. That is the emotional power of this discovery. It's not just about money. It's about possibility, timing, luck, and the thrill of uncovering something rare and extraordinary. Reset again. Picture yourself holding the coin. Your heartbeat accelerates. You found it. You've discovered a penny that most people think is worthless. But you know better. You've learned to see what others can't. And in that moment, over $1 million isn't just a number, it's a reality. A dream materialized into something tangible, something you can hold, something that proves that attention to detail, curiosity, and persistence can create life-changing opportunities. Remember, every detail counts. The mint mark, the lettering, the ridge, the subtle doubling, they all matter. Miss one, and it's just a penny. Spot them all, and it's $1 million treasure hiding in plain sight. Imagine the potential. Family, friends, even strangers, watching as you reveal what was once hidden. The excitement, disbelief, and joy, all wrapped up in a coin that might have been under your couch cushion, in a drawer, or in your pocket change all along. And the final, mind-blowing truth is this. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million. But for a handful of lucky collectors, that's exactly what happened with the 1977 D Lincoln penny. And today, I'm going to show you how to spot it before it disappears forever. The story begins in 1977, when the U.S. Mint was churning out billions of pennies for everyday use. Most were ordinary, destined for cash registers and tip jars. But hidden among them, in one particular batch, a small number of pennies were struck with an unusual error that would turn them into a modern treasure. Nobody at the time noticed. Nobody knew. Until decades later, when one lucky collector stumbled upon it while sorting change in his kitchen. What makes this coin so extraordinary is subtle. It's not the shiny copper, not the face of Lincoln, but the tiny D mint mark. A simple letter stamped at the Denver Mint, which under the right conditions tells an incredible story. In some coins, the D was struck twice or slightly off-center, creating a rarity that collectors drool over. That tiny mark can instantly turn a humble penny into $1 million treasure. You might be thinking, could I really have one of these? The truth is, most people have no idea. Every day, ordinary Americans are tossing these coins in jars, slipping them into wallets, never realizing the fortune in their pocket. And the thrill comes from knowing that you might be the one to find it. Now, let me show you exactly how to identify this coin. First, examine the mint mark closely. On a standard 1977 D penny, the D sits perfectly below the date. On the rare $1 million version, look for doubling, misalignment, or a mark that appears thicker than usual. This is where a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe becomes your secret weapon. Don't rush. Take your time. This is the kind of detail that separates a normal coin from a historic fortune. Next, study the surface. True rarities often have a subtle imperfection, a tiny ridge, a small doubling of the design, something only noticeable if you know exactly what to look for. Compare it to a regular penny from the same year. The difference is subtle, but once you see it, it will be unforgettable. Condition matters, but not as much as you'd think. Even circulated coins, those that have passed through countless hands, can reach the $1 million mark if the mint error is present. That means you don't need a coin that looks like it just came out of the mint. You need the right coin. And that could be sitting in a jar on your desk or hiding in your pocket right now. The emotional journey of this coin is remarkable. Think about the family that unknowingly passed one down from generation to generation, the friends who dismissed it as a worthless penny. And then, one day, everything changes. One person notices it, one expert confirms it, and suddenly, life as they know it transforms overnight. Imagine holding a coin that instantly changes your financial future. $1 million discovery resting quietly in your hand. Every 1 to 2 minutes, you have to reset your attention. Look at your change differently. Check the pennies in your drawer. Look for that subtle mint mark, the tiny imperfections that tell a story decades in the making. This coin isn't flashy, it doesn't scream for attention, and that's exactly why it hides so well. But for the collector who knows the secret, it's the ultimate prize. History has a mysterious way of hiding treasure in plain sight. The 1977 D. Lincoln penny is proof that the ordinary can become extraordinary. A coin you've walked past 100 times at the store, a coin you may have dropped into a soda machine, could carry the power to change everything. It's almost poetic that the simplest objects can hold the most profound surprises. And when you finally see it, when that moment of recognition hits, it's not just about the money. It's the thrill, the connection to history, the understanding that someone else in 1977 could never imagine what that tiny D would mean decades later. You are holding a piece of the past that the future now values in the millions. Grab a magnifying glass, go to your coin jar, and examine every 1977 D penny you can find. Look for the subtle doubling, the imperfections, the mint mark that whispers a secret only a few have ever discovered. Remember, millions of coins were minted, but only a fraction hold this hidden fortune. Your diligence could be the difference between ordinary change and extraordinary wealth. Imagine telling your friends, your family, even complete strangers, that you found a penny worth over $1 million. The disbelief, the excitement, the life-changing possibilities, it's not a story for movies. It's happening right now in homes across America. And you could be next. Remember, every coin tells a story. Some coins are just coins. Others are legends. The 1977 D. Lincoln penny is one of those legends, a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered by someone patient, careful, and observant. The story isn't over until it's found, and it could be found by you. So take a deep breath, examine your change with new eyes, and pay attention to the tiniest details. Because one day, that small, overlooked penny could turn your life upside down. One coin, one moment, one discovery. And when it happens, it's unforgettable. Yes, a single penny, minted in 1999, with no mint mark. The thought alone is enough to make your heart race. A penny, 1 cent. Yet history has hidden these treasures in plain sight for decades. Few people even realize they exist, and even fewer know exactly what to look for. This isn't a story about luck, it's about discovery, about being in the right place at the right time. Back in 1999, the U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies, each one seemingly ordinary. Most went unnoticed, dropped in jars, piggy banks, and cash registers. But among them were a handful that were different, mistakes that would one day make millionaires out of ordinary collectors. The no-mint mark variety is one of these. It's subtle, almost impossible to spot if you don't know what you're looking for. The mystery begins with the minting process itself. Pennies are produced in massive quantities at 2 mints, Philadelphia and Denver. Each coin is stamped with a small letter indicating its origin, P for Philadelphia, D for Denver. But the 1999 no-mint mark penny skipped this step. Somehow, a tiny production error allowed these coins to escape, leaving them without the usual identifying mark. To the untrained eye, it looks like just another ordinary penny. But to the right collector, it's worth a fortune. The answer is rarity. Out of billions, only a few dozen of these no-mint mark pennies are known to exist. That scarcity turns what looks like a humble 1-cent coin into an almost magical object. Collectors are willing to pay millions because they know the story, they understand the mistake, and they recognize the thrill of holding a true anomaly in their hands. Spotting one. You need patience, a sharp eye, and knowledge. First, examine the obverse, the front side of the coin. Look for Lincoln's profile. Pay attention to the area where the mint mark should be, below the date, near the rim. If there's absolutely nothing there, you might be holding one of these extraordinary coins. Don't jump to conclusions. Many pennies can appear similar, so it's crucial to compare with verified examples. The tiniest details can mean millions of dollars. Next, check the coin's condition. A penny in pristine condition, free from scratches or wear, is worth exponentially more. That's because collectors value both the rarity and the quality. A flawless 1999 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny can fetch prices over $1 million. Yes, a single penny, 1 cent, can be worth that much. Imagine what that would do for your life. Paying off debts, buying a home, securing your family's future. It's easy to dismiss this as fantasy. Many people think, I'll never find something like that. But here's the truth. These coins are hiding everywhere. In jars, drawers, boxes of mixed change, forgotten rolls of pennies from the late 90s. People have found them in the most mundane places: the glove compartment of a car, a coin collection passed down from grandparents, even a random tip from a waitress. The thrill is in the discovery, the instant recognition that you've stumbled upon something priceless. The story doesn't end with finding it. Once you do, authentication is everything. Experts carefully examine the coin, looking at weight, metal composition, and microscopic details. It's this scrutiny that turns an ordinary penny into a verified million-dollar artifact. And here's the final secret. Once authenticated, collectors and dealers are willing to pay handsomely because they know they'll never see another like it again. Imagine holding that coin for the first time. The cold metal between your fingers, knowing that one tiny object has the power to change your life forever. That excitement, that sense of possibility, is why people hunt for coins like this. It's not just about money. It's about being part of a story that has spanned decades, about touching a piece of history that nearly no one else has experienced. And here's the most exciting part. The hunt can start right now. Check your old coin jars, examine your rolls of pennies from the late 90s, and look closely at each one. It might feel ordinary, it might feel insignificant, but to the right eye, it could be extraordinary. Remember, the difference between an ordinary penny and a million-dollar penny is almost invisible. Every few minutes, a story emerges of someone who found their fortune in the unlikeliest of places. Someone who never imagined a single coin could make them a millionaire. And yet, it happens more than you think. The thrill, the suspense, the life-changing discovery, it's all possible. It could happen to you. So, when you reach for that jar of pennies, when you sift through decades of loose change, remember the 1999 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. Remember that somewhere out there, a coin worth over $1 million is waiting for the right person to recognize it. One small mistake by the mint has turned an ordinary coin into a legend. One small penny has the power to change everything. This is not a dream. This is history hiding in plain sight. And the truth is, it could be sitting quietly, unassuming, among the coins you've overlooked, ready to reveal its secret. It's hard to imagine that a coin minted in 2002, a coin you might have tossed in your pocket just yesterday, could hold a fortune. Yet that's exactly what collectors are discovering. The 2002 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. Ordinary to the untrained eye, but a potential million-dollar treasure hiding in plain sight. The story of this penny begins not in some distant past, but quietly in the U.S. Mint, where a tiny mistake turned an everyday coin into a collector's holy grail. For reasons still debated among experts, a batch of pennies was released without the Philadelphia P mint mark. A small detail, invisible to most, but one that now can make a single penny worth, not just dollars, but $1 million. Imagine the panic, then the exhilaration, when collectors first discovered this anomaly. Coins that should have been common suddenly became priceless. People scrambled through jars, drawers, and forgotten piggy banks. Some found nothing. Others, unimaginable wealth. The answer is surprisingly simple, but it requires patience and attention. First, check the date. Only pennies minted in 2002 without a mint mark qualify. That's your first clue. Then, examine the D or S absence. If there's no mint mark, your heart should start racing. The details are subtle. Look closely at the lettering, the spacing, the edges. Professionals even use magnifying glasses and reference books to confirm authenticity, but the first step is just noticing the difference. Every minute, people are walking past fortunes without even realizing it. A single coin in your wallet or jar could change your life forever. The suspense builds because these pennies are rare. Only a handful are verified in existence, and yet the chance that one is in your possession is very real. Let me tell you a story. A man in Ohio was cleaning out his old change jar when he noticed a penny that looked just slightly off. He didn't know it at the time, but that small, copper disc was a 2002 no mint Mark Lincoln penny. Within weeks, he was negotiating with collectors, stunned as offers soared into the millions. That ordinary coin had transformed his life overnight. But the truth is, this isn't just luck. It's about knowledge, awareness, and persistence. You can learn to identify these pennies. You can inspect every coin in your collection, every penny rolled at the bank, every faded copper disc with new eyes. Look for that missing mint mark. Examine the luster, the wear, the precise details of Lincoln's profile. It's a detective game, and the reward could be life-changing. Imagine holding a coin and realizing its story. That one penny witnessed history, traveled through countless hands, and survived decades unnoticed. And now, by chance or fate, it could be yours. The emotional weight of that realization is immense. A small object carrying the potential to make you a millionaire. Every 2 minutes, your attention resets because this coin demands it. You can't glance casually. You have to look, really look. Coins like this don't stay hidden forever. They are found, bought, and cherished. And every time one surfaces, collectors feel the same surge of excitement. The same heart-stopping thrill that a simple penny could be worth more than some people will earn in a lifetime. Authenticity is everything. A real 2002 no mint Mark Lincoln penny is verified by its absence of the mint mark and its alignment with official mint specifications. Any deviation or counterfeit will be obvious to professionals, but your first line of defense is careful observation. Train your eyes. Study images online. Compare your coins meticulously. This is the detective work that turns ordinary coin collectors into millionaires. Even if you think your jars of change are worthless, don't discard a single penny without checking. A seemingly insignificant coin could be hiding in your kitchen drawer, your car console, your coat pocket. Every overlooked coin is a potential fortune. Consider the collectors who found theirs. The stories are electric. Ordinary people, surprised beyond belief. They were shocked, thrilled, inspired. They went from mundane routines to negotiating million-dollar deals with dealers who barely believed their luck. And all because of a small detail, a missing mint mark, that anyone can learn to spot. So as you sift through coins, think about the possibilities. Each one could be hiding a secret. Each one could change your life. And remember, it only takes one coin, one 2002 no mint Mark Lincoln penny, to go from ordinary to extraordinary. Don't underestimate what's sitting unnoticed in your collection. Don't dismiss the pennies you've been ignoring for years. Study them, inspect them, dream of what could be, and let the suspense thrill you, because this is a real treasure story happening today, right now, around the country.